What's up, everyone? My name is Alex, and welcome to my little corner of the internet. I wanted to talk about how the different facets of my identity intersect and overlap with each other. Since this is a series on being alterhuman, I'm going to talk about the intersections of otherkin, plurality, and different things like orientation or gender, how those things intersect and overlap and interact with one another. So I definitely covered this in a previous episode or two from Identity Talk, where I discussed how having headmates kind of bleeds into my own identity because there's so much blurring and overlapping between us. There's definitely gender confusion. My goodness, the gender confusion. I thought I had it all figured out, and then when I was just thinking about my headmates, I started really considering all the little pieces that come together to make up my identity, based on the experiences of my own headmates. Austin is extremely masculine and pretty gender conforming. There's really not much to it. He doesn't question his orientation or his gender or anything like that. He doesn't feel the need to. He's secure in who he is, whereas Avery is completely genderless, and gender doesn't even, gender doesn't apply to her because she was never assigned a gender at birth and never learned really what human gender is. So she enjoys a lot of gender labels, especially referring to being genderless or being feminine, or xenic identity. So being xenogender, having a gender that is outside of the conventional human ways of categorizing gender. But otherwise, she is just indifferent to gender completely. Austin is kind of like almost the masculine side of me. I am much more masculine when Austin is more present, whereas Avery is the reason why I experiment and explore gender and try out new ways of presenting, new labels, kind of think of myself as a differently gendered human being instead of thinking of I'm a demi-boy. Maybe I think of things like proxphere, it's kind of like boy, just on a different plane entirely. And even looking into xenogender labels and stuff. As for orientation, for me, orientation is extremely messy, and I try not to think about it. I call myself gay. Austin likes to call himself omnisexual. He kind of considers himself aromantic, but he's mostly just romance indifferent. He doesn't care for it. He doesn't care to look further into it, and I've never really questioned that. That's kind of his decision. Avery is definitely asexual, understands sexuality, but doesn't really care for it or experience it. Possibly aromantic, but possibly not. We're not sure. She's not sure. So I have parts of me that are definitely not what I would consider myself. I consider myself gay and definitely allosexual, so not asexual, not aromantic at all. But then I have these parts of me that are, a little different in terms of attraction. And if we're talking otherkinity, non-humanity, Avery is literally non-human, and she relates to a lot of different types of animals. She probably has kin types or heart types. Being other-hearted means, having a deep connection with a creature or a character or a concept. So the type of other-hearted you are, the thing that you experience other-heartedness with, is a heart type. Kind of like how if you're otherkin, the thing that you identify as is your kin type. Yeah, Avery is most definitely non-human. Austin is very draconic in the same way that I am, more animalistic, but I'm not sure if that overlaps with my own otherkinity. So I don't think that like his experience with being human or not so much really intersects with my own identity. I think he just kind of has his own thing going on in that regard. And being otherkin doesn't affect views on my own gender, but it kind of normalizes my need to look into labels that are specific to being non-human or outside of human convention, being xenogender or being a gender that is specific to otherkin. I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but non-human specific identities, like I like learning about them and kind of thinking of my own gender outside of human convention, human gender, but I don't think being otherkin literally affects how I experience gender. I think it's just helps me view my gender in an unconventional way. That is pretty much it for intersections of the different facets of my identity. It's kind of a short video, but I thought it was a nice way to kind of cap off the month. And next, let me kind of reach over. The video that I'd be working on is just how do I know that I'm dragonkin, and do I experience other non-human identities? Basically, do I experience coping linking? Do I experience other-heartedness? Just how do I know that it's a dragonkin type and not something else? So I'm going to be covering that and just kind of looking into the what ifs, because I feel like I haven't done that in a very long time. I did that a lot with identity talk, but now I want to kind of go back to that. So anyway, I am signing off for now. See you later.